Hi, this is Miss Gross. So for all you makers out there, I want you to think about what kind of magnificent thing you might want to make as we're reading this book. So I'm going to read this book to you called The Most Magnificent Thing by Ashley Spires. The Most Magnificent Thing. What does magnificent mean, do you think? The most magnificent thing. Think about that word magnificent as we keep reading the book. If you don't know what it means, think about what it means. If you do know what it means, think about some other words that mean the same thing. This is a regular girl and her best friend in the whole wide world. They do all kinds of things together. They race, they eat, they explore, they relax. She makes things. He unmakes things. One day, the girl has a wonderful idea. She is going to make the most magnificent thing. She knows just how it will look. She knows just how it will work. All she has to do is make it, and she makes things all the time. Easy peasy. You can see here, look at how well she's planning this out and thinking about it. First, she hires an assistant. Who do you think her assistant is? Maybe her best friend? Next, they gather their supplies. They set up somewhere out of the way and get to work. Well, let's look at where she is. Is she out of the way? The girl tinkers and hammers and measures. You guys know how to measure now. While her assistant pounces and growls and chews. When she is finished, she steps back to admire her work. She walks around one side. Her assistant examines the other side. It doesn't look right. Her assistant picks it up and gives it a shake. It doesn't feel right either. They are shocked to discover that the thing isn't magnificent or good. It isn't even kind of sort of okay. It is all wrong. So wrong is the opposite of magnificent. The girl tosses it aside and gives it another go. So she's going to give it another go. She's not giving up because she's a problem solver and she's persistent. She smooths and wrenches and fiddles. Her assistant circles and tugs and wags. You can see his little tail is wagging there. When she is finished, she stands up and takes a long look at it. Her assistant gives it a nudge with his paw. The thing is still wrong. She decides to try again. She's still not giving up because she's persistent. That's a word we talked about at school, being persistent, not giving up. The girl saws and glues and adjusts. She stands and examines and stares. She twists and tweaks and fastens. She fixes and straightens and studies. She tries all different ways to make it better. She makes it square. She makes it round. She gives it legs. She adds an antenna. There's some antenna she puts on it. She makes it fuzzy. She makes it long, short, rough, smooth, big, small. One even smells of stinky cheese. But none of them are magnificent. Her hard work attracts a few admirers, but they don't understand. They can't see the magnificent thing she has in her mind. These people, do they look happy? She gets mad. The angrier she gets, the faster she works. She smashes pieces into shape. She jams parts together. She pummels the little bits. Pummels means pounding on it. Her hands feel too big to work, and her brain is too full of all the not right things. If only the thing would just work. See, she's super mad. Crunch! Uh-oh, look at that. What'd she do? She was working in such a hurry, she smashed her finger. The pain starts in her finger. It rushes up to her brain, and she explodes. Have you ever exploded when you're mad? It is not her finest moment. I'm no good at this. I quit. Uh-oh. She stopped being persistent. Her assistant suggests a walk. She brought her leash. It's not much help at first. So she's still really mad here. And she kind of gets distracted as she notices her assistant looking at another dog. Then she's starting to get a little bit amused because they're so cute when they're playing together. But before long, she starts to feel different. She's almost starting to look happy there with the balloons. Bit by bit, the mad gets pushed out of her head. So sometimes when you get really mad, it's good to take a little break from what you're doing. As they stroll along, so stroll means to walk kind of slowly, she comes across the first wrong thing she made. The bad feelings are about to start all over again. Then she notices something surprising. There are some parts of the wrong things that are really quite right. The bolts on one, the shape of another, the wheel to seat ratio of the next. That's how big the wheels are compared to how big the seat is. There are all sorts of parts that she likes. By the time she reaches the end of the trail, she finally knows how to make the thing magnificent. By the time she reaches the end of the trail, she finally knows how to make the thing magnificent. She gets to work. She works carefully and slowly, tinkering, hammering, twisting, fiddling, gluing, painting. Her assistant makes sure there are no distractions. This one's all wet. This will stop that leak. This is the perfect thing to ward off bears. Uh-oh. Why do you think it's wet? Sorry. The afternoon fades into evening. Finally, she finishes. She alerts her assistant. Oh boy. Assistant went to sleep, laying down on the job. The pair take a good long look. It leans a little to the left, and it's a bit heavier than expected. The color could use a bit of work too, but it's just what she wanted. They climb aboard and take it for a spin. They are not disappointed. It really is the most magnificent thing. Wow, so she made a little sidecar for her assistant. And you know what? The first time, your first prototype isn't always perfect. So if it's a little bit leaning to one side, if it's a little bit heavier, that's okay, because then she can use that one and see how it works and make her second prototype. And then it'll be even the most magnificent thing. So what kind of magnificent things could you make? That's all for now.